You've probably seen the demos. You type a prompt, hit enter, and out pops a cinematic masterpiece, like a photorealistic woman in an emerald green coat walking through a rain-soaked Tokyo alley. But then you try it yourself. Instead of a cinematic tracking shot, her eyes glitch into the back of her head. She walks in place like she's on a treadmill, and the cherry blossoms in the background just vanish between frames. It's incredibly annoying. And the immediate reaction is to assume you're doing something wrong. You think you just need a better prompt or a secret keyword to fix the physics. The reality is that no single text-to-finished video button exists for high-end professional work. The marketing suggests otherwise, but the software isn't there yet. The standalone AI video app has reached its limit. To reach a finished export today, you have to look past the individual software icons and build a dedicated production pipeline. Every creator stepping into AI video right now hits the exact same fork in the road. You have to decide what matters more to your project, convenience or absolute control. This diagram shows your two options. First is the path on the left, the ecosystem. This prioritizes speed and volume over cinematic quality. Tools on this path let you handle the script, generate the visuals, and apply voiceovers entirely inside a single browser window. Then there is the path on the right, the assembly line. This breaks the process into pieces to prioritize absolute photorealism. You take output from a raw video generator, source external audio, and stitch it all together in an editing program. The hard truth of the 2026 landscape is that you cannot have perfect character memory and total photorealism inside the same tool. If you try to force one tool to do everything, you will waste hours fighting the software. You have to evaluate your time, your budget, and what your audience actually cares about before you begin. Identifying your specific requirements up front is the only way to pick the right pipeline. It is the only reliable way to get from a blank page to a published video. To figure out which pipeline fits your needs, we must cut through the marketing and look at what these tools actually demand from you. This quadrant chart maps the current landscape. The horizontal axis measures manual labor. On the left, we have tools that offer turnkey automation. On the right, tools that require granular control. The vertical axis measures aesthetic quality. At the bottom, we have stylized or niche outputs. At the top, we reach cinematic photorealism. Sorting the top video generators by these axes reveals their true intended use cases. Where a platform sits on this chart tells you exactly how much manual work you will have to do to reach a finished export. Let's start with the bottom left quadrant. This is where we find platforms like AtLabs, Symphasia, and Steve AI. These are the turnkey ecosystems. You give them a basic prompt, and the platform handles the script generation, selects the avatars, and applies the voiceovers automatically. The massive advantage here is consistency. A character will wear the same outfit in Scene 1 and Scene 12. Plus, your audio tracks are perfectly integrated in minutes. But the visual output is highly stylized. It leans toward 2D illustration, 3D cartoons, or stiff video game-like avatars. That is the trade-off. You are locked into rigid templates. You cannot execute a complex camera movement or dial in nuanced cinematic lighting. These platforms force you to sacrifice ultimate visual fidelity in exchange for narrative consistency and the speed to publish. Now look at the top right quadrant. This is the territory of Kling AI, Runway, and Google's Veo 3. These are the cinematic powerhouses. To get results here, you have to write highly detailed text prompts dictating lighting, camera angles, and subject matter. When these models work, the results are breathtaking. They understand natural human movement, complex facial expressions, and advanced lighting. You can get a shot of steam rising off a night market cooking pot that is indistinguishable from a high-end camera. But these models fail constantly. A character will walk normally, then their legs will loop unnaturally. Background objects like falling cherry blossoms will suddenly vanish mid-shot. They possess zero built-in narrative memory. If you generate 5 clips of the same woman, she looks like a different person in every single one. Because of this, you have to generate dozens of clips just to get one usable 5-second take. It is a workflow built almost entirely on trial and error. Achieving photorealism requires you to accept extreme unpredictability in the raw video output, and that unpredictability is only half the battle. There is a hidden technical cost to taking the assembly line route. They output completely silent video. You manually source your voiceovers, find the sound effects, and sync background music yourself. This requires adding external stops to your workflow, like pulling copyright-safe tracks from libraries like TunePocket, so your final upload doesn't get hit with Content ID claims. Once you have your video and audio, you have to stitch them together in a non-linear editor like Premiere Pro. Exporting these heavy AI files is a technical burden of its own. This diagram shows the export settings you'll need. To keep 4K quality without instantly filling up your hard drive, you have to dial in specific data management settings, like selecting VBR 1-pass with a target bitrate around 30 megabits per second. This final rendering phase adds significant processing time to your project. What took minutes to prompt can take hours to finally export. The monthly subscription fee is only the baseline. Photorealism carries a massive technical finishing tax, hours of manual assembly, to make the raw footage usable. How you decide depends entirely on mapping these workflows to the constraints of your specific project. We've built an evaluation matrix that assigns the correct tech stack based on 3 distinct creator profiles. First, the time-poor educator. Your recommended tools are AtLabs or Steve AI. Your audio is handled built-in, and your required post-production is 0. For kids' content or narrative lesson plans, character recognition and production speed matter significantly more to your audience than cinematic realism. Next is the cinematic marketer. You need Kling or VO3 for video, TunePocket for audio, and Premiere Pro for post-production. Producing scroll-stopping, hyper-realistic ads requires budgeting the significant time required for external assembly and rendering. Finally, we have the budget-conscious experimenter. To avoid stacking monthly subscriptions, your tools are the Luma free tier or Sora via an existing ChatGPT Plus account. In exchange for 0 cost, you must accept strict limitations, baked-in watermarks, low-resolution outputs, and severe limits on video generation time. Success in 2026 depends on matching your specific constraints to the tech stack explicitly built to handle them.